Yo! Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. How's it hanging? Mark Guerrero. Sup, Mark? Hey, how's everybody doing this fine evening? Evening for me, at least. I don't know about you guys. For me, it's evening. Let's see what we got here. Couple people. I got some things to show off. Not a lot, not a whole lot at all, but nonetheless. So how's things, Mark? What's going on in the world of comics for you? By the way, guys, I do apologize. I've got 3 or 4 more reviews. I think 3 more reviews. I read 2 more of my comics. I got to put the reviews up. The Miles Morales comic book and the MODOK comic book. I read those, and I gotta actually do the physical review, and then I'm gonna edit them up and throw them up. Hopefully, they'll be up sometime tonight. And then I still have to read Juggernaut, and then try and get up as soon as I can, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But I got the podcast I got to do tonight, so there's a lot. There's a whole lot to be done. I'm not saying anything. Just saying. So what's happening? I'm hoping not to be on for too terribly long. Of course, every time I say that in my head, I'm thinking, I'll just do this for half an hour. And then you guys always wind up coming up with some crazy stuff to talk about 2.5 hours later. The heck? 2.5 hours later, I'm like, what the frick? Where did the time go? So we'll see. I guess it'll be up to you guys. Let me start off by showing a couple of things here. What I should have done, I should have gotten my Doctor Doom toy. I have a couple, but I should have gotten the major Doctor Doom toy. That was actually really dumb of me to not do that. It's going to show how tired I am. But I say that because, hey, what's up, Raven? Derek! What's up, Derek? How you doing, man? Holy crap, long time no see. Amazing news. Snyder has no plans to continue the DCEU after his okay, so I guess that's Zack Snyder. Well, he originally did, but yeah, I hear you. Tommy, what's up, Tommy? Raven! What's going on, Raven? Thank you. Look at freaking Raven. Okay, you know what? I got a little something for you coming up. Thank you very much for the Aussie $5. Yeah, I got a little something for you coming up. I can't do anything with this one, but see what we could do. So, cause I'm back on your live, been sick with a real bad sinus infection, kept me in bed for a week. Dude, sinus infections are sons of guns, dude. I'm sorry, man. I hope that you fully kicked its butt. And I'm sure you don't want its name. Sinus infections suck. Okay, so I have, ooh, you know what? So I figured I would show you guys my wife's Christmas is the AT&T of people. Wow, that's messed up. I said I was going to show you my Christmas presents this week for my wife. So one of them I actually forgot out there. One of them I forgot out there. It's actually the Triumph and Torment book, Doctor Strange, but it's the trade paperback. So it's not, okay, this is weird. It's a whole bunch of stories from Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, that run. And in the back, it's also got the Stern and Magnola Triumph and Torment story, Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom. So that's there. And that's awesome because I get to actually flip through that story until I can actually find the original graphic novel, which is a hardcover, first print, first edition. But regardless, I have that, and it's in there. Should I go get it? You know what, let me just go get it really quick. Guys, type a couple things. I'll be right back. Corey, what's up? I'll literally be right back so I can show it to you guys. Hey, Def Rocker. Oh, I'll talk about it. That's right. I walked out of a podcast. Well, a live stream. Anyway, but I'm back. Okay, so let me show this off. Bang. This is the one. So this is not the Marvel graphic novel, but the Marvel graphic novel, there's the cover of it, is actually in this. So it's regular old trade paperback, big, thick, actual spine. This is a solid book. I love this. Whole bunch of really great stories in here from the Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme days. Really good stuff. You know, saying Rintra the Minotaur, I'm seeing he's in here. Howard the Duck is in here. But there is also the, let me see if I can find a very recognizable page. Okay, I can't show that one because it's just like, that's the spoiler. But yes, the, oh, for crying out loud, here we go. The Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Triumph and Torment story with the aged Genghis is in fact in here. And I love that. So I get to flip through and I get to read this again. But more importantly, I get to have my wife sit down and read this. You know what I'm saying? So like not the whole thing. She's not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to get her to read that final story, that Triumph and Torment story, because oh my God, just forget about it. Like I want to see how she feels about it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, something else that I ordered for myself, and I'll get to to all this good stuff here, is bang. This is a wired cape for Doctor Doom. Notice it's black on the inside, but this OD green on the back. It's got the little chain and the buttons on there. So this is actually going to take a lot of work, but it's wired. So it doesn't just flap around, so to speak. The wires inside so that I can actually put it into different poses. I've got to get one for Doctor Strange, of course, maybe two for him. What I was thinking is I got this so that I can learn how to do it myself the proper way. This is really high quality because there's actually a wire on the top too. Usually what they'll do is they'll just have one wire that goes all the way through here, down, and up. So one wire that does, you know, all three parts like that. But this one actually has it going across here also on the top. So that's actually really cool. This is very high quality. I think I paid like $30 for this. I know it seems $30 Canadian. I know it seems like it's a lot of money, but you genuinely get what you pay for. This is quality material. I can actually iron this out, and I will. And you can just put this thing into any old pose that you want, so that the still frame animation just looks amazing, you know? I'd have to take the cape off of Doctor Doom, leave the cowl on because this doesn't come with the cowl. I didn't want it to, but I could have. And this way, all sorts of totally epic, awesome freaking poses and whatnot. Hells to the yes. And for the sake of conversation, let me put this back in its plastic baggie. I actually got another one for Doctor Doom. Oh man, the manchiladas. It's actually the bag. But I got another one for him. Looks the same, right? Until you realize it's tattered. It also doesn't have the black inside, which bothered me, but I figured that I can correct that myself. But like that's the inside and here's the outside. I got one that's tattered because Doctor Doom has to have one that's tattered after he's been in a battle. You know what I'm saying? Doom is the greatest bad guy that's ever been created, in my opinion. Like, loves me some Apocalypse, loves me some Mr. Sinister, loves me some Magneto, loves me lots of different, you know, bad guys. And we could talk about the DC universe too, right? But to me, Doctor Doom, just the stories and whatnot, there is nobody more conflicted, nobody greater than Doctor Doom, which is why anybody who ever writes Doctor Doom in a story, I hope that they're okay with this nerd critiquing the hell out of that book, because I do a character study also, and Doom is pretty much my favorite. So this thing is super tattered, super worn. You can see there actually burn marks. The holes go all the way through. Yeah, this thing is torn to shreds, as it should be. So, and it's also wired in all four areas too. So you can actually have it wrapping around Doctor Doom, and it'll look like, you know, flowing in the breeze and whatnot. I can actually put it on somebody. Let me, who do I want to like mess up his pose? Realistically, nobody. So you know what? I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I should have brought Doctor Doom down. It's my bad. Yell at me all you want. but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm not gonna do it. It's a old George Bush seniorism. Let's see if I can get that farty noise again. Oh, darn it. I'm so disappointed. It was so fun. I was so unexpected that first time. Okay, so let me see if I can, actually, you know what? I could put on him. Because remember I got all those Venomized figures and they built the Venom pool? Well, there was one more figure that they hadn't put out yet, but they came to my area. So, bang. We got some good stuff up in here. Let's see if I could pop this puppy open. Is that a new curtain, Bill? It is not really. It's just a bed sheet. I know, whatever. I'm so goofy. This is a sheet that before I started using this, the map, as my background. I got to get a green screen one also. But before I started using my map one as my background for when I'm teaching, I was actually using this one because the company I was working for, their color was purple. So I used to actually use this as my background. I used to just hanging over top of this. It's not fishing line. What is this? The whatever. I think it's 16 or 12. I think it's 12 gauge wire that's running across the top there. So galvanized, and it's solid. So I can actually put a bed sheet over top, and it drapes and looks good. So that's what I would usually do. Derek, what's up, Derek? Hey, Joe from Japan, what's happening? You know about green screen. Running a new superhero campaign using the Tiny Supers RPG. You only need 3d6. It's a very Marvel feel to it. You in? I'm in to try. I absolutely am in to try. Doomwood Punk Lex. I think that Doom would Punk Lex. You're not wrong. I am into trying. What I'm thinking about doing is I do have to still finish that mission that you're in, that you and Xavier are in. I don't know about finish it, but I have to continue it at some point because there's a story to be told there. And then I also actually want to start doing the Final Flight Star Wars game because like that one's just it's such an epic system for storytelling, and I would love to be. And it's like no individual has to be a hero because everybody could just be a regular rebel fighter, a no-named rebel fighter. Everybody could just be a freaking stormtrooper. Everybody could just be whatever. Even the Jedi in there, yeah, they're powerful, but they're not like Luke Skywalker level powerful. They're punks compared to any Jedi that we've ever seen in any of the movies. So, and I just figured that would actually be a really fun game to play. So, anyways, here's Cap, Venomized Cap. He's got a point in his back, which is a little bit weird. Like it protrudes. It's weird, but anyway, it's kind of got in the front. So here's Cap, nice and sharp in the back. This is just a rehash of the Cletus Cassidy claws, the finger claws, from his most recent figure. I've showed you that before. The one that builds the Monster Venom before they actually made the Build-A-Figure Monster Venom. And here's the shield. There's just the Clintar goo all over it. What's so great about this is even if I'm using a regular Captain America, but he's fighting against Venom, I can actually just have this. You know what I'm actually thinking about doing? I might see if they have another one of these. I literally just now thought of this. Oh, does this come out? Get the hell out of town. It actually pops out. Ain't that something? Okay, that's actually very interesting. Huh. So I can actually do like an effect where it's just like, and then, it's on it. That's pretty interesting. I like that. Oh, I like the ideas of this. Anyway, here's the inside of the shield. It's one of these where it's just fits into his hand. There is no hole on his back to fit it on his back, so he's got to hold in his hand if he's going to hold it all. Otherwise, I can just flip this the other way, and then I can just snap it onto his wrist. So it's I've mentioned before, I really like it when the shields do that. It's a feature you really only use with Captain America, but nonetheless. Anyway, boom, there you go. Let me try on one of these capes on him. Let me try one of these capes on him. Oh, well, you're going to love the Legends box I'm about to pull out next, bruh. So let me put this guy on so he can the venomized Captain Doom, I guess. So bang! That's how it looks on a figure. He can have his hand out like this with the wired cape on, and he could just actually hold the cape like this with the wire. It'll actually look dope as hell. Like that. He could be doing a soliloquy. Fold that over. It's cool because since it's got the wire across the back, like the top back, unlike a lot of the cheaper ones, I can actually fold the buttons over so you can actually see the buttons. Then I can have this thing move back, and you can actually get a really cool effect with the wind. Fold that up so it actually looks like the wind is blowing. So like that. Just looks sick, right? The wired capes, man, I'm telling you. The good ones will cost you like 30, and I got this off of eBay, dude. Plus the tattered one. Oh, the tattered one would actually probably look better with a venomized thing. But anyway, yeah, $30 on eBay. It's like $6 shipping and handling. Worth it. Totally worth it for me. Masters of the Universe Origins, working on the G.I. Joe classified figures right now. I knew you would, and I'm sorry that I got you into that. There, Derek, your girl's probably pissed off at me. Master Jarl, you are correct. Few things more epic than a cape, except this is the one that did the farty noise. Let me tighten it again. Ah, there it is. Worth the price, I'd have to say. It looks good. Well, thank you. Paula, what's up, Paula? Happy New Year to you also. How have you been, Paula, who doesn't talk to me anymore? It's all right. It's all right. Still loves you. Okay, so let me put that on there. So anyway, I was thinking I might wind up getting another one of these. Get on there. I might wind up getting another one of these. Maybe I can mess with the body a little bit, make like a different version. I don't know. But I wouldn't mind painting this stuff red in case he's going to fight Cletus one of these days, right? So this way I've got the option instead of like, making this one red and then wanting to go back to inferior looking Clintar color. So I don't know, I might, because I can always find something to kit bash this with, Plus I wouldn't mind, these are actually really loose. It's not that loose, but it's loose enough that it's a little bit frustrating to me. I wouldn't mind getting another one just in case this one breaks. Plus the other one I can actually heat up and then open up the claws like this instead of like this all the time. It's okay, Paul, I ain't mad at you. Hey, if Hasbro does a Marvel Legends base based on the King in Black, then the Grendel would have to be a Build-A-Figure. Deluxe figure? No, you know what the Build-A-Figure should be? One of those dragons, because those things are cool as hell. Okay, so let me show you the final thing, and then we will start talking about some stuff. So this is, I'm saying, this is really epic. Y'all need to hold on to your horses. Came in this big old HasLabs exclusive box. HasLabs exclusive? What? You mean not sold in any store? Guys, oh my God, 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 oh my God. This was meant to be here for a reason, right? Hellfire Initiate. And Derek, you know why this is so important. Like to your game? Oh, the Hellfire Club, baby. Look at those gates. Look at them gates. Look at the pictures in black and white on the back. Those are the 4 characters that come in here, but it's technically better than that. So this bottom part comes off. Put that over there. This guy is going to open up. There's Velcro right behind that H. Now it opens up. Look at this. I should hang this on my wall. So I'm going to cut out all these little posters and start using them for backgrounds inside of the Hellfire Club mansion that I clearly have to build. You should be past jealous. All of you should be past jealous. This is amazing. I told my wife told me, she's like, what do you want me to get? Because I got her a whole bunch of really cool things from like almost ancient Somalia. Like I got her some old stuff from like back before her grandmother was born. You know what I'm saying? I got her some old school, like bunch of stamps and coins and books, like first edition rare book called teaching my mother to give birth, which is a very famous Somali book of poetry. Like, I got her some old school stuff, man, a lot. And she went crazy over this stuff. So she was just like, I don't know if mine's going to hold up, especially since you know what it is. But I was like, this is the only thing that I want, babe. The only thing I want. Ah, man. This is actually a poster. Opens up. The figures, you see it there. Oh, what is this? Oop, I got to be careful. Okay, I'm showing you guys, and the tape is going to wind up ripping my stuff, and I don't want to do that. So you'll notice that there's a card in here. A card. Now, unfortunately, this is not embossed. It's not actual wax, unfortunately, but it looks good, doesn't it? And there's a letter inside with some signatures on it that all look different. Allow me, if I will. Oh, I'm getting giddy, guys. Manhattan, New York, dear friend. You are you are cordially invited to the ranks of a society with a most exclusive membership. It's really hard to read cursive. With a most exclusive membership. Entry into this organization has always been a matter of nobility, but a select few have ascended to the shoulders of sheer prestige and influence. It is to the latter group that you belong. In brief, your reputation precedes you. Oh yes. Oh yes, it does. Inquiries have been made. A plan has been set in motion. The express benefits of membership are many, although their cost is high. If you can survive the rigors, something like that. Oh, the Viper's pit of revolving alliances and hidden agendas, a gilded future awaits. It is very seldom that the inner circle removes the shroud of secrecy and steps forward in pursuit of a new initiate. You would do well to heed their call. The inner circle awaits you. Awaits your response for now. And it's signed by Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost, Donald Pierce, and Jean Grey. What? Y'all remember that the first time, like, God, that just, it gave me tingles down my spine the first time I read that. That is, like, you know what? Honestly, I used to wait for a letter from Hogwarts. I'm too old now. F Hogwarts. I want to be in the Hellfire Club. I want to be a Hellfire Initiate, bruh. So this is a full-on poster, and like it's a solid cardboard poster that I could hang up in my room. I could hang up right up in here. I could hang it up right there. I got a space right there, just beckoning for something with an exclusive membership. That is a seriously badass little poster right there. But all these little guys right here, I'm going to cut these out and use these when I put together my stuff. Do you have a Sebastian Shaw action figure and a wheelchair? Yes and yes. I'm going to explain that in a hot moment. So let me pull these guys out. And you can see the diorama background of these guys. Okay, I need to take this poster off of here. There we go. Now I'm going to slowly get rid of that tape, but later, not now. I said later, Mom. So, instructions, warning, don't eat the stuff. Yeah, whatever. Throw that in the garbage. Actually, let me see if there's some kind of special membership details in here, because I'm just saying that'd be epic, but I don't think they can legally do something like that. No, nothing special, just different ways of saying don't eat the glass or something. So anyway, you can see behind it, there's a bunch of posters and things like that, so that's cool. There's this tape on the back straight across. Hey, Evan Burke, what's up? Mike Flanagan wants to do a Clayface movie. Well, freaking let him. Let him. Sucks they weren't using an adaptation of the Dark Phoenix. Oh, no, because they would have only messed it up, man. They would have only messed that up. Sure. After Fisher complained some more on Twitter, Warner Media finally responded with a just saying. Investigation is over and it's time to move on. So, you haven't had a new comic in over 2 weeks? Oh no. So you got sick? Not cool. Not cool. In 2 weeks, it wasn't the Rona, was it? Because F that Rona. Okay. So here's this little back. God, that is gorgeous. Oh my God. Y'all are on hold for a moment. Oh, damn, this is gorgeous. Okay, fine. So tells me how I got to make the actual diorama, the 3D diorama for this thing. Posters everywhere. God, this is just regal AF. It is gorgeous. Let me pull out these figures. So, what kind of figures do we have here for the Hellfire Club? Well, let's pull out Jean Grey first. And I'm going to have to cut some of this stuff open extremely carefully because, of course, they got them the hell in here. Okay. Do this without jacking anything up. Hopefully, preferably. Can I just have an even shot? There we go. There we go. Hells to the yeah. I say, hells to the yeah. Issue 56 was the worst time to jump on Amazing Spider-Man after hunt down 55 back issues. Yeah, you do. Actually, you have to hunt down a lot more than just that, Evan, because there's a lot of good stuff there, and they did a lot more than just 55 issues. There are those sub-issues and all that. So anyway, hold on. Let me pull. Oh, damn it. Okay, so here is Jean Grey. Remember, her first appearance was, in fact, actually in Hellfire Club when she was Dark Phoenix. This is when Mastermind messed with her. So clearly I'm going to need a Mastermind now. So this is her. She's got both hands being wide open like this, which is weird. I'm going to have to get an actual wired cape for her also. But for now, this will more than do. This is gorgeous, right? She comes with her literally cat o' nine tails whip, which I guess I can also use for Hellcat and Black Cat if I wanted to, so 2 cats. Can't put this in her hand because her hands are wide open like that. But what I can do is I can say that Jean Grey is cute and all, but allow me to pop off that head. Because as cool as Jean Grey is in this position, when that neck actually comes off, you know who actually belongs to be a Black Queen? The Black Queen? And it's basically a whole nother figure just by giving us this head. Oh, for Christ's sake, it's taking too long to put the thing on. You already know who it is. We'll report back once I'm broke. Better send smoke signals, bruh. Because, yeah, it's going to be expensive. All those trade paperbacks. Okay, I don't like this. That it's so hard to put the head on. I feel like it's going to break. And it's also kind of weird and kinky at the same time that I've got to hold her by her boobs in order to get this head on. Anyway, it's Celine, just in case you guys were wondering, in case anybody couldn't figure it out. So they've got a Celine head, and this is absolutely ridiculous right now. I'm actually starting to get annoyed by this. Scarlet Witch never became a slightly more clothes than their female members, right? Okay, I might actually have to heat this up in order to put this head on. I don't want to do that though right now because, well, I'm doing this live stream. Please don't break. Just please don't break. I just don't want, because like the necklace is going to, the choker is going to wind up coming off. Anyway, here you go. Like I'm so frustrated with this thing right now. But anyway, it's not fully on the head, but Celine, I've got Celine. That's what I really want because the Dark Phoenix Jean Grey, that's really, cute and all. I like it. I'm sure I'll use it, but I really want Celine. I mean, hello. You know what I'm saying? So bang, that's it. I've also got, now it doesn't come with the White Rook. I can't remember his full name, but the fat guy who controls density. He caused Wolverine to actually break all the way through the floor to the grounds, the sewers below. Yeah. Anyway, but it does come with Sebastian Shaw. Ugh. And it comes with a Wolverine mask. This is so freaking ridiculous that they just threw in a bunch of stuff and no way to actually hold the things. You know what? Why am I holding this goddamn box here if it's not going to catch anything? So, what the hell? Where'd the damn mask go? There it is, all the way back here. Because of course it did. All right, so it's got this little mask that I can just stick in a backpack if I wanted to. Do just pretty much whatever I want. I can actually have it folding off the back of Wolverine's head, which is actually really cool. I like that. So I can actually put this on Wolverine's head with a Logan head on and have the mask in the back. That's cool because the only time that this kind of a mask came out that you can do that with was actually the orange and black one. So it's very cool they did this one. It's a shame I had to buy this pack to get that, but yeah. Anyway, so here's Sebastian Shaw. Now, some of you guys might remember that I actually already have this Sebastian Shaw. I spent $50 Canadian, again, twice as much as HasLabs was selling them, but in American prices, but I did that in Canadian, so not quite twice as much. Anyway, all of that just to be able to get another one of these. Why? I'm going to crack the chest. And so I'm going to pull all of this clothing off, and I'm going to crack the chest, pop off the head, all that stuff. I'm going to save the torso, so the waist down to the legs and the feet. I'm going to save the head, but I'm going to find another body, the torso and arms that are bare-chested and preferably with a little bit of hair on them. Why? That's when I'm going to put that together so that I can have Sebastian Shaw with the bare chest also. And he really does look like a bear with it. So, hey. So this way I'll have both versions of Sebastian Shaw. And maybe with the other head, I'll actually make him like with the mouth open, because this is just the cocky smile one, which it don't look bad, but having his mouth open like, I think would be amazing. And I don't know if I don't know how easily that would, that could be done. But I am pretty sure that if I take like a hot wire and make it go in through his mouth to where his lips are and then straight down, I can then crook it open, and then hopefully it'll look good. If not, well, then it'll look bad. I don't know what to tell you, but at least I'll be trying, and I've got an extra head in order to play around with it. Okay, what else we got? We've got another one of these books, which I could honestly care less. Like it's a Hellfire Club book, but it's open, and it's the same trigonometry. Actually, it's calculus. The same calculus lines inside, which, whatever. I don't care. The open books are cute and all. I want a bunch of closed books. So it would be nice if I could find somebody who's willing to part with this so they can actually have a closed book of this, and then, open it up. I don't know, maybe I'll just make this one closed. Won't be the easiest thing in the world, but I know how to do it. I can just cut out the binding in the middle. What the hell? I hate that about this thing. Just cut out the binding in the middle and fold it over, and it'll look good. It also comes with, and I guess this is because of the movie, it also comes with a Magneto helmet. Just the helmet that anybody can technically put on if they can fit it over their heads. So this is actually really good because although I've got multiple heads for Magneto, I don't have just a helmet. So now I do. So that's pretty cool. I'm saying it don't look bad. Yeah, it does. You have to find like a bald character to put that on. So now, I've got Donald Pierce here. Just a regular old looking Donald Pierce with the Hellfire Club, whatever. So I've got the head, so I can always change it out with a cyborg body, maybe one of the Reavers, have him do some cool stuff there. So that'd be nice. Where's the Phoenix always looked like this? So freaking awesome looking figure with his, what the hell is this thing called? The cummerbund, whatever. Anyway, what do you call it? And then it comes with all of these. Okay, this is going to be frustrating. It comes with a gun for Pierce. It comes with a closed fist, two closed fists for Shaw or Pierce, but mostly for Shaw. Comes with this open robotic hand, the left hand for Shaw, excuse me, for Pierce, which is just awesome. It also comes with a closed robotic, actually, excuse me, the one that holds the gun, robotic for Pierce. It comes with two fists for Emma, two closed fists. It comes with an open hand that holds a gun for Celine. I mean, also for Jean if you want, but Jean didn't use the pistol. That's a Celine thing. Also comes with a, you can do it with her other hand also. And then it comes with two fists, closed fists for Celine / Jean. Sejean. Sejean. Sure that's not Terminator? No, it's not. Comic Quirks with Jimmy. What's going on? How you doing, Jimmy? Checking out my Hellfire Club stuff. And then, of course, last but not least, and this, there we go. This is for, there's actually the thing on the back to hold her in real nice. There we go. This is for my man's Raven. I got this version of Emma Frost. And she's just, you think I'm going to dance for you, but you're wrong. You think I'm going to do a Rockettes kick? Sort of. Diamond form. Bam! So, boom, cravat. Thank you, Raven. Of course you would know this. You know everything. But anyway, so bang, there's Emma Frost, the White Queen, Black Queen, the Black King, the Black Queen, and Donald Pierce. So the entirety of the Hellfire Club with the Jean Grey head and the Magneto helmet and the Wolverine open mask going on the back and the Hellfire Club book. Because yes, and this absolutely gorgeous, like, guys, the only box that I ever kept a box, was the Ant-Man figure set that I just opened for you guys not too long ago. This gorgeous thing. This is not with my letter. I'm not getting rid of that letter. And this is just like, this is something I need to hang up. I just have it up here. Oh man, that is just beautiful. Wow, that is beautiful. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep this box because this is just too nice to get rid of. I mean, the gates of the freaking Hellfire Club there, that is just out of this world beautiful. So yeah, loves it. Absolutely freaking loves it. I have to put all that stuff away, and that's all I got for toys today. Been a while since I've been to one of these, but I've been busy with work and school. What are you doing in school? A lot of my reviews are late. I apologize for my reviews being late. What do you call it? It's funny. In my immigration and refugee consultation class here in Canada, well, my core, that's actually the module that I'm on now. But for the whole program, I just did quiz 2 a couple days ago, and I got a 70 on the thing. I know a lot of people are like, professor, like that's barely passing. Yeah. The trick is that the teacher is like a son of a gun, and I actually got the highest score in the class. A 70 was the highest score in the class. Now actually there's some other people who got 70, but I'm going to tell you why I actually got the highest score in class, because question 8 on the quiz was something where the question was, which one of these statements is true? And there was multiple choice with 4 questions, and obviously one of them was true, the other 3 were false. So there's a whole bunch of stuff on there you have to look through and do. And one looked like it was very detailed with the citation of the section of ERPA and all this stuff, being quoted. I'm just like, that looks like it's going to be a lot of work to investigate that. So how about I do these 3 smaller ones first, and then if I find a true statement there, I don't have to do that last one, because all I got to do is find one true statement, and boom, I'm good. Only one of these is true. So I checked it. And it turns out I was right in the thing that I looked at. I got that one right. There were very few of us who got that one right in class. He didn't say how many, but he literally said almost nobody got that one right. But I did get that one right. Now, here's the funny thing about it. There was another question, or excuse me, that particular question did have another one that was so the long one with all the citations and everything like that. It was so close to being true that the instructor was actually convinced by the students. I didn't even show up that day because I knew everybody's just going to want to talk about the quiz. I'm like, it's a waste of time. If you're not going to teach anything new, I'd rather do my own studies. So I went and I jumped on it. Yes, I do have a shirtless Ra's al Ghul. I unfortunately do not have a Ra's al Ghul that has his clothes on. So, well, the shirt on at least. So I need to do that also. Anyway, so so they convinced him, can you give us an extra point since most of us got that wrong? And he says, okay, I will give that one, I will give an extra 10% to everybody. So meaning I will give one extra point to everybody. So the 10%, so if you got like a 50, then you go up to a 60, you know what I'm saying, on the quiz. The trick is I already got that one right. So so some of the other guys on the test who got that one wrong, it's just they get an extra whatever. But since I already got that one right, I still get an extra 10% because otherwise it wouldn't have been fair, right, to everybody else. So he actually bumped me up to an 80 also. And since I already got that one right, boom. I know it doesn't make the most logical sense in the world, but to me, that makes it that I did better than anybody else on the quiz, because the one that they got, like if there were 2 other people who got a 70 also, but they got the one that I got wrong, and then I get bumped up anyway, they're still wrong. I'm still right. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it that way. I look at it as I definitely got the best grade in class. At the very least, I got one of the highest grades in the class. Nobody else got higher than me. So it was hard, and this teacher is super hard. I'm wondering what the final for this module is going to look like. Like, he's a son of a gun, and he's wicked. I called him a sadist and laughed about it, and he laughed with me. I don't think he realized I was being serious. Like, he's sadistic. What do you got here? Jimmy, I'm studying English. Oh, nice. Just started Psych 200, World History 200, Math 200. I hate life. No, come on. This is my last quarter of sophomore year. Okay, nice. Psych, I never got to Psych 200. I started off doing psychology. That was my first major, but I didn't like it. It's a shame because I was super young and I just figured psychology is just labeling people. That's all this is. But duh, I was also only in my first semester, so it was stupid of me. But I dropped out. I dropped my psych major and I went into sociology instead, where I figured you can help people more. I wasn't necessarily wrong, but it turns out like psychology is one of the loves of my life. I love studying psychology now. You know what I'm saying? And I've been for years just subscribed to like, Scientific Mind and Psychology Today and stuff like that. I love reading those magazines, and following along and checking out new articles that they recommend and whatnot. So yeah, it's just friggin' A, dude. Head swap the Ross and Shaw. I could, but the Ross Al Ghul that I showed you guys is he's the one where like the I think the arms might bend at the elbows, but the knees don't bend. Like the legs don't really bend at all, like barely at all. So there's not a lot of movement there. I actually want somebody who's going to move a lot. So the Ross that I have, it wasn't what I thought it was when I ordered it. It is what it is. I actually paid more than I would have. I wouldn't have bought them at all if I'd have known that they were going to be, this poor quality, but it is what it is. What's done is done. But if I did the head swap and everything like that, yeah, it wouldn't feel right because it's not the same. Plus, Shaw is a lot bigger than Ras Al Ghul is, specifically when he starts when he starts getting hit a lot, absorbing a bunch of stuff. Want to hear something funny? I've been taking psych for 2 quarters straight because he doesn't really know how to use computers. So I only had to do 3 assignments, 1 assignment, midterm, and final exam. Wow. And get a minor for doing bare minimum. Do it. Do it. Get the minor. Do it. Do it. But studying English, I know, is a son of a gun because it takes a lot of energy to look at the arts as a science. But if you could enjoy it the way that a linguistics class would be taken, then yeah, it's worth it, dude. Like, to me, English is an amazing thing. I taught it at university. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, I still do it to this day. Well, I don't teach at university to this day, but I love teaching English. It's a lot of fun, but I feel like I could actually help people doing immigration and refugee services. Plus, it's going to help me to be what I want to be, which is more independent. I want to actually be able to own, instead of just doing freelancing, which is what I do now. So I don't really have a boss per se. I actually want to make it so that I'm fully 100% my own boss. So I can have my own, my own storefront, whatever, my own office. I can do pretty much whatever I want and just boom, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the real dream. Because I really do want to show, I was talking with my wife about it a little bit today, but she was busy. We couldn't really talk about it a lot, so you guys are stuck listening to me. My parents didn't have it good. What's weird is that they did have it good, especially my mom had it really good, but didn't do a lot with it, and are settling for not quite having what their parents had. You know what I'm saying? And my dad died like a couple years ago, so he never quite got to that. It's just one of those weird things where it's like they could have built off of what they had, and then they could have done something amazing with it. And for me, like, I I really started off with not much in this world. You know what I'm saying? Started with just being freaking poor as could be, Um, but struggling and busting my ass a lot. Um, Not taking time to play video games all the time, even though, dude, I've been wanting to play 7 Days to Die in the worst way this whole week, but I just got way too much to do. You guys can actually follow me playing on Twitch 7 Days to Die once in a while. And I think on the other comic book channel that I have, or the other channel that I have, the CBU Toys, I think we can actually post my playthroughs of 7 Days to Die on there because I have some fun. I think I have some fun on there. So, whatever. But you guys can watch me on Twitch once in a while if you follow Comic Book University on Twitch. But anyway, with all the little things that I want to do and all the things I'm trying to put together, I really want my kids to be able to see, how great, like, for instance, my uncle is extremely successful. I'm not a fan of my uncle, but my uncle is doing extremely well. He lives in a really nice house. He's got his own business. He's an auto mechanic. You know how that worked? Because he just had a fascination with cars, and his father was around, my grandfather. He was around to actually teach him how to use cars. He developed this interest. It was something that he was able to do, even though he sucked in school. My uncle is actually dyslexic. He couldn't pass high school. He just couldn't. You know what I'm saying? And back in the days, he's only 7 years older than me, but so that means that he's 52 now. He couldn't pass high school, and high school didn't know what dyslexia was. They didn't care. They're like, "You're stupid. You're going to fail." So it's like, "Well, you're not going to fail me. I'm just going to drop out. I fail you. How about that?" You know what I'm saying? So, you failed me, so I'm going to fail you. You get a failing mark, and he left. But he was really good with cars, and he learned how to handle cars. And I remember I used to work with him a lot on it. But it was helpful because, one, his father was there to help him out, so that gave him a huge benefit. Also, my grandparents, they were, together their whole life since they were 15 and 16, legit. They had the New Deal from what's his name? Um, Not Eisenhower. Why do I got Eisenhower in my name? FDR. they benefited from the New Deal. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather, a full-blooded Sicilian, around the time that they wanted to start looking for houses, that's when the New Deal happened, and he was suddenly considered white at that time. Before that, he wasn't allowed to get a job where white people worked. He had to work at car washes and gas stations and places where you'd make like $1 a day. And only people who were formerly in prison could go there. And he never served a day in his life in prison. You know what I'm saying? But he's Italian. So, of course, he must have been in the mob, right? So, like, it's funny. By the time that he's considered white, he actually gets to take advantage of the New Deal. He wasn't redlined. Anyway, so he was able to get a nice house with a big 2-door garage, which meant that he had plenty of space for tools and other things like that, that my uncle could bring cars home, work on all of his friends' cars, learn how to, work on cars and all that. And then he was able to turn that into going out and getting jobs doing this stuff. It's funny, he couldn't pass the test, his air conditioning test. He actually needed me to take his air conditioning test for him because, again, he's dyslexic. He can't read the stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like he struggled like a mother fathead. I got to give it to him. He struggled like hell, and he was able to do it. But he did have a lot of benefits that I didn't have, unfortunately, when I was younger. But he got all of his certifications, and pretty soon he stopped working for people. He was able to save up enough that he bought a crappy shop. He rented a crappy shop. Then he got rid of that crappy shop, and he went and actually bought his own shop. And he was actually, talking about trying to expand recently. So like the dude's doing really well because he has a very basic skill that he loves to do, and he doesn't even have to do it anymore. And he's got a side hustle where he's buying cars, he's flipping cars. He'll buy a crapper car on Craigslist, and then he'll fix it up, he'll renovate it, clean it up really nice, and then turn around and sell it for 3 times what he bought it for. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Yes, the mafia is an Italian thing, but no, the Irish have a mafia, the Jews have a mafia. All the people who weren't considered white, who are nowadays considered white, had a mafia back then. So it is what it is. But like that's the thing about it, man. I didn't have a garage when I was a kid. I was an apartment kid. I was a latchkey apartment kid. Like where was I going to get a space to put a garage and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Or a yard. There was nothing like that. It was all space where it's like you can't take apart that car here. So I never had a place where I could do stuff like that. So it's like yeah, because they're all politicians now, Master Jarl. But it's the idea that these freaking guys actually had something good going that I never had access to. And it sucks, but it is what it is, So I figure if I can bust my ass and just live for my kids, they can, one, see that, hey, dad was able to make his own business. I can too. Maybe I can actually finally get a house that, what do you call it? And like a place for a garage. And even if I got to park my car in the street, as maybe one of my kids or both of my kids, my sons can actually get into cars and they can do something like that also. Maybe they'll see what I do and be like, Dad's practically a lawyer. Maybe I should actually become a lawyer. And it's like, yes, you should become a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughters, and just like my daughters are already doing great. You know what I'm saying? But like these guys, excuse me, I want them to be able to have better. I want, all my kids to be able to have better. And it's funny because as much as I'm trying to do pretty much every single thing that I want to be able to do is really just stuff that I'm trying to live through vicariously through my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I almost feel like it's almost too late for me, but we'll see. White privileged man, to tell you it's a weird thing. It is a weird thing, and it's not everything that people crack it up to be, but it is actually a thing. Yeah. Does the King in Black Namor tie and explain the Black Tide? Yes, it does, Evan Burke. Also, because otherwise it's a scam. Yeah, it does. Here's the funny thing about it, and I plan on actually doing a review for it. I can actually give you the skinny of the review right now. There are a lot of people freaking out over the fact that as a Native American, I don't feel for you. My great-grandfather was a Native American, held me in my hand. He was pure blood, so to speak, as if it's a blood test that does it. So I'm also part Cherokee. The funny thing about being part Cherokee is that the people who aren't about being part Native American. The people who actually aren't Native American pretty much at all are like, so you're not Native American. If you're not full-blooded, you're not Native American at all. And the funny thing is, the Native Americans and indigenous people who are usually oppressed even more, they're the ones who will usually also say, yeah, you're not really Native American. Even though I've been smudged by the Oneida people and unrequested. I did not request that. They chose to do that. I've also been on a spirit quest with Lenni Lenape and with Cherokee. I know the culture pretty well. I suck at the language, but it's a hard freaking language to learn. It's one of those things, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I've got plenty of natives who actually know me who are cool with it. Hopefully that wasn't a slight on your part there, P. Keel, but time will tell. Get that money, Adnan. You know what it's like. Oh, Kabir. Like, that is a powerful ass name. Adnan Kabir. So anyway, the language is hard as hell. My wife, it's funny, my wife actually sent me a thing where I can try and learn the Cherokee language, which that's cool. If I'm going to try and make some time to do that in my spare time. The problem is actually getting the freaking spare time. Native American blood. Wish I knew something about those ancestors. I don't even know what tribe. That's what's so messed up. Is actually the greatest Comanche leader was white. Hey, the Magnificent. I like to think about it. Yeah, one of the most messed up part is the dystoria. Dystoria. That's not a word. The dystopia. That there's so many people who they know that they're native. They know that they've got native in them, but like it's gone. You know what I'm saying? For them, it's completely gone forever. Um, it's funny. My grandmother didn't know that. Well, she knew. Obviously, she knew that her father was native, but didn't even know that he was Cherokee. Um, what do you call it? Like, she just didn't care. It was one of those weird kind of things. Like, it sounds stupid, right? But like she'd forgotten or just didn't know. She's like, I don't know. I don't even think about that kind of thing because it did give her a hard, like she had a really hard time growing up being a mixed kid. It's like, the fuck are you mixed by? Like, what the hell are people mixed by? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you think about it, um, uh, with black people, you say African Americans, Africans, whatever, African Canadians, like the darker skin you are, a lot of times the people who are like half, like my kids would be like half black, half African, more specifically, but half black and half, I don't know, me, who's like a big old mutt. I know that they're going to get a rash of heat from, from white people saying you're not white and black people saying you're not black, which is like, dude, but we're human. We could stop looking at the little tiny bit of differences that we have and just look at the things that are actual factual. I mean, there's that. But, otherwise, it is what it is. Dysphoria. Thank you, Alan. Another smart mother fathead. Thank you for that. If Trump isn't put on trial for the trial for the crappy poll, then yeah, that will prove white privilege. It's not going to prove white privilege. Here's the thing. That is not white privilege. What that will prove is the fear that a lot of these guys have. You think about the crap that Hillary Clinton pulled. War crimes. She should be in prison. So should both Bushes. So should Papa Clinton, Bill Clinton, right? So should Reagan. You know what I'm saying? And including Obama. Obama killed a freaking. Sorry, we're going to pull this away from comic books for hopefully no more than 3 minutes. Obama killed American citizens, almost the entire family of an American citizen via drone strikes, right? Like, all the presidents we've had since Ronald Reagan should have all been brought up on international war crimes. And if we didn't have the most powerful military that has ever existed anywhere, it's like, dude, are you kidding me? They definitely would have been brought up for international war crimes, every single one of them. And some of them even for treason. Reagan, Ollie North. I'm saying. Yet, these things are let go. Why? Because the second that one incumbent president holds a former president or the president preceding him accountable for the stuff that he did, his head's on the chopping block too. And so is everybody else, because now a new precedent has been set. So I promise you, I don't know if Trump is going to be held for state crimes, specifically in the state of New York. I don't know if he's going to be held for state crimes, but I can almost, like, without being predictive, my sense is that he is going to be fully pardoned at the federal level by Biden. I can almost promise you that'll happen. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not the point. I'm not here to get emotive about it. I'm here to point out Biden knows, and Biden will be advised, if you hold Trump accountable for anything at the federal level, then that is a new precedent that you will have set for yourself. Obama would be screaming in his ear right now, don't you dare. On January 20th and all thereafter, don't you dare. Because then they could come looking for me also. You know what I'm saying? Dude, no. I don't think that anybody is going to be getting hit anytime soon. My family immigrated from Ireland, and I can tell you, since I was born in the homeland, oh, nice. I'm considered an outcast, and it's weird. Every culture has a form of that bill. Very strange. Yeah, agreed. Oh, yeah, you are. Thomas, it's Cherokee, dude. It's Cherokee. Most people don't realize it was only yesterday that Native Americans controlled half the nation, practically, right? And dude, P. Keel, I don't know if you're from America proper or Canada, but like the indigenous people, you said Native Americans, so I'm presuming the 50 states. We're called indigenous in Canada, and I actually like that name better, indigenous people. It's an interesting thing because the residential schools, the final residential school closed in 1992. I graduated high school in '93. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? The whole save the Christian child, but kill the Native American or the Indian parents. Yeah, that, like, absolutely ridiculous. And Canada is really good at hiding its problems. Its past, I should say, really good at hiding them. Canada had slavery too. Canada had a really bad slavery. You look in the textbooks of kids from only about 10 years ago, they changed them about 5, but about 5-10 years ago, it actually says for the this is for like 3rd grade and whatnot, that the Indians, the what do you call it, the Pilgrims came here and they were welcomed by the Native Americans, by the native peoples, and they shared food, and then they gave them some land to live on. I don't think that's the way it worked. And they can say, oh, they're just trying to make it easier for kids to understand. Don't soften blows. Don't do that. Don't lie to the kids just to later on. You got to do what you got to do. And yes, it demonstrates that. Yeah, exactly, Alan. It's not about white privilege. It's about power protecting itself. Saying, like, you got to understand, it's a class war. Racism, anti-LGBTQ, what do you call it? Religious warfare, all the little things in the world are literally just little tiny things to divide us, to keep us divided. The real war is a class war, and it's the upper class that are finding all these ways of dividing us. They love when we, when Black Lives Matters march and the All Lives Matter crew starts screaming, and all these different problems that we have, and like the school shootings and the religious back talk and whatnot, and the racism, like the misogynists, they love when that happens, because like they're not focusing on us, they're not seeing that we're screwing them over. Yeah. Kwana was great. I don't know what Kana is. Iwani's the Capitol building is public property, so anyone is allowed in. That's not really the way it works. Didn't say go destroy it. That's won't be surprised me if he does go to trial. The thing is, you don't have to, like, intent to like, there's not just conspiracy, there's intent to commit conspiracy. So you don't have to say, hey guys, we should rob the bank. No, you don't have to rob the bank. You don't have to say let's rob the bank. if they can prove, if they can get close enough to a proof that you were insinuating we should rob a bank, it's close enough. That's what intent to commit conspiracy is, and that's exactly what they're going. Like, they have him dead to rights if they wanted to. The problem is they've got all the presidents from Reagan on for the exact same thing. Like Jimmy Carter, man, Jimmy Carter. Oh, you're in Lower Oklahoma. Okay, so you know the deal about the government actually doing something fairly decent for natives, giving you guys some land back. It's like people always say the term Indian giver. It's like, would that be pilgrim giver? Because I'm saying, um, oh, from your mom's side. Oh, never mind, never mind. Didn't realize. Oh, shoot. All right. Hey, Prof, do you think it's a little fast for Kamala Khan to be getting a series? I love the comic, and it's what's got me into reading comics. But oh, you're saying the television series? No, I think that it's a perfect time. If you got the character and you could bring some kind of, and you could find a way to bring more people into comics, I say it's a good thing. I say it's an absolutely good thing. Keep going. All I know about is the Canadian Indigenous Holocaust. Yeah, it's bad up here, dude. Trump needs to be held responsible for the riot, endanger the lives of Electoral College, and is responsible for 5 deaths. You're not wrong. I'm also wondering, wasn't that the same crowd that said that Blue Lives Matter? Oops. Um, Surprised Trump has not pardoned the domestic terrorist. He's still got a couple days. He's still got until the 20th. Well, the 19th, actually. Um, I'm surprised he hasn't let go of the freaking Tiger King. uh, Free made choice. Canada is still extremely racist towards indigenous people. Yes, extremely. If you could hear what the blue party says, mind you, the colors are reversed here. So the blues are actually the conservatives in Canada. The reds are the liberals. The green is the green, or is it yellow? I think it's green. The green is actually the NDP, because there's 3 major parties here instead of 2. That hasn't always worked in our favor, because there used to be 4. Used to be 2 conservative parties, and then 2 yeah, 2 liberal parties. Well, the liberals and the NDP, which are more progressive than anything else. Anyway, they and then when the 2 the frick are they called? The 2 conservative parties combined, that's how Doug Ford wound up taking over as premier of the lovely province of Ottawa. Now, I know I'm older than all of you, not Native American, and lived in a major city, but I went to a mission school. First French nuns, then a proper missionary order of nuns. It was wild. I can imagine it was. Damn. Oh, wow. Evan Burke just went out. Would you buy orange is NDP? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's orange. I had a feeling it wasn't green. Thank you for that, Alan. Wow, Evan just went out and bought a bunch of freaking Spider-Man comics. What, Comixology? That's crazy. He said, march down to the Capitol and fight for your country. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Green is environmental. Yeah, what the hell are they called also? Yeah, because I know there is a Green Party. Yeah, is it just environmental? I don't know. They actually have a name, and I can't remember what it's called now. We talking politics now? I guess we could. We're talking about a bunch of things, actually. My paternal grandfather was half Native. I don't think he even knew what tribe. His mother died when he was very young. Yeah. Quanah Parker was the greatest Comanche leader. He waged war with America long than any other. Okay, nice. Quanah Parker. I'm going to look that up. Comanches are some badasses. Hey, Bill, what country do you think is more racist, America or Canada? Because U.S. has a lot of problems. I don't know Canada too much. Okay, this is going to sound very controversial. I'm going to say, in general, no, food prices aren't really that big of a deal here in Canada. The thing that you're coming, I'll get to that in a moment there, Jimmy. The thing with Canada's food prices is that we want the prices to be lower. We're not really paying that much. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know how to shop smart, you're golden. But for the most part, like, the prices have just skyrocketed a little bit more over the past couple of years, which is like, that's not cool. I know a lot of people say that Canada's a socialist country. it is not a socialist country. It may have more like its hospitals may be socialist or socialized, I should say, but like aside from that, that's really the only difference. There's not a whole lot more. There's not a whole lot that's different between America and Canada. Like America has the socialized military, police force, fire department, public schools, and libraries. Canada has those also, plus their hospitals are socialized. That's really the only difference. Like there's a couple other little differences here and there, but for the most part, nah, it's not really that much different, you know? So we are not actually a socialist country up here. Um, where to go? And I can promise you, if you want to piss Canadians off, you know what I'm saying? Like I know Canadian Bacon said, just say that their beer sucks. Canadians don't care about that. No, instead, threaten to take away their medical, their medical benefits. They will gouge your freaking eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Like with their teeth, they will suck your eyeballs out of your freaking head, put your head on a spike, and urinate on it for all the world to see on videotape. Like, dude, vehemently angry about it. So, like every single time that somebody says, "Yeah, I heard the medical system up in Canada wasn't that great, long lines and blah blah blah," blah. No, all 100% bold-faced, puke-mouthed lies. A Canadian will murder you dead if you give a credible threat towards taking away his or her medical benefits. That, like, if you try and take their OHIP card, that would, well, OHIP here in Ontario, you try and take away their freaking medical benefits, they will tear you a new one. It will get physical. I promise you that. The nicest old lady, man, they'll rip you apart, dude. Anyway, as far as who's more racist, America, American Canada, like as far as racist, it's not a national policy to be racist. You know what I'm saying? There are some countries where they do have a policy in place to maintain social order and therefore be racist. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Middle Eastern countries like that. When I lived in Saudi Arabia, I promise you, um, I got paid the most because I had a US passport. I got paid more than Saudis did. You know what I'm saying? For the same job, literally for the exact same, for teaching, I got paid the same. I got paid 4 times as much as an Egyptian did. I got paid about 2/3 what a Lebanese would be paid, and um, Pakistanis and people like that. I don't even they weren't even able to get passport, or they weren't even able to become teachers. Like they had to become cleaners and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Repair guys, people who wore a name tag and overalls, coveralls. You know what I'm saying? Like that. If you were Pakistani or something like that, you had to have like a European passport, and then they're just like, okay, fine. You know, saying you can teach, you can do whatever. Like it was extra. Like you wanted to. People talk about America's got systemic racism. Yeah, yeah, of course it does. But I promise you, it is a billion times worse in many areas of the Middle East proper, like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar. Geez, like it's as blatant, bold-faced, in your freaking grill as imaginable. Like you could not imagine. You get there and you're like, this isn't real, right? This isn't real. I was there for 5 years and I was shocked it was like that. The trick is that America is really good at confronting its, well, compared to Canada especially, it's really good at confronting its racist past. Um, One of the ways that I can quantify this is I will ask not just white teachers here, but black teachers. I will say, I'm from America. We got Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I'm saying? We've got a lot of people, who are spokespeople past. That was the past, like even present. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go as far back as like Fred Hampton and the like. You can actually go to nowadays like the Reverend Jesse Jackson. You know what I'm saying? We've got people nowadays. Nina Turner. Boom. There you go. That's any face you're going to get nowadays. Stacey Abrams, not bad either. Good ulterior motives, but the way she's trying to get there is very suspect. It's frightening that she was willing to go into other political parties. She was trying to try and become the VP. Like it takes her message back hard, really far. But Stacey Abrams still, she is fighting for the right purposes. I just don't like the method. It's like a literally weird way of saying by any means necessary. Anyway, yeah, we have pro-Trump protests here in Canada also, which is a little bit weird. Sue-Ann, what's up? What's up, Sue-Ann? How you doing, girl? So I would say that America deals with its racism more. Like, I know that there are a lot more riots and things like that, but America it's becoming a new nation in many ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're actually facing a lot of this stuff. Like, here's one of the things that I talked about. You guys got to listen to the Comic Book University podcast, because I got my Somali wife who does the podcast with me. And what did I say? I said I wanted to make this nice and short. What is this? Hour and 15 minutes already, right? I wanted to make this short. I knew you freaking guys were going to do this to me. Okay. Let's go. Let's try and finish this up. Anyway, my Somali-born and raised wife and I talk about comic book news, and every so often racial issues come up, and we talk about them and we address them right there. Bang. You know what I'm saying? The Comic Book University podcast, 5 a.m. every Sunday morning, Eastern Standard Time, Toronto, New York time. You know what I'm saying? That's right. I said Toronto first. Take that. But one of the things that she said, I remember this one time, I didn't get heated, but I did get a little bit emotional about it. I was like, okay, listen, the fact that America acknowledges its racism doesn't mean you get to just point fingers and things like that, because I want you to honestly stop for a second and think about this. What other country in the world faces its racist problems the way that America does? And don't even look at its religious leaders. Look at the actual people. Look at the actual people who are there, okay? When you're talking about regular old people and who? White people. When you're saying, when you got white people, unlike anybody else, you don't see Indians doing this. You don't see natives doing this. You don't see black people doing this. You don't see Latinos doing this. You only see white people disassociating with their own family members because they're racist. I'm not just talking about blocking people on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm talking about, I haven't talked to a family member in years because they're racist, and racism is wrong. You don't get any other people in the world doing that ever, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can have a nice Bangladeshi home, and like, here's dad who's super racist, or mom that just, she said some things that are a little bit off once in a while. And it's just like, oh, that's just dad being dad. Oh, that's just mom being who she is, and things like this. Like, dude, no. Address what's actually happening. The white people in America and a bunch of other places in the world too are disassociating themselves and breaking familial ties because they don't want to allow that sort of nonsense to continue, even within their own families. You cannot sit here and say white people as a whole are racist. You can't say that. You can't do that. Now it's time to wake up. It's time to grow up. It's time to actually face reality, because there are black people right now, and I know them because, like, they've got an uncle or a grandfather who will say racist things around me, knowing that I'm a good guy, knowing that, yeah, I can trust Bill, but Bill still got a little cracker in him. I'm not from Florida. You don't get to call me a freaking cracker. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how that works. Okay. I'm not even from Georgia, where you can kind of, throw it in. It's like, nah, I'm from Jersey, brah. You can't, you can call me a honky, I guess, but like, come on, a cracker of all things. Anyway. And mind you, these guys will not break ties with that uncle or that grandfather. I know two people with a grandfather and one with an uncle. What do you call? Even in my wife's family, dude. Even in my wife's family. Not nowadays, but at first, oh, dude, I had people threatening my life. I was gonna marry their daughter. Like, my wife is actually like through legacy. She's actually descendant of kings and queens. She would technically, if there was still a royal family in Somalia, she would be considered a princess. You know what I'm saying? So to marry down, to marry an ajnabi, to marry a white person. You know what was constantly said to her by her family? This man doesn't even know your grandfather. Her grandfather was a tough son of a bitch. Her grandfather was a tough son of a bitch when the Italians, and mind you, that's the northern Italians, not us Sicilians. We didn't conquer anybody. But when the northern Italians, the mainlanders, went and they colonized 1/3 of Somalia as well as a bunch of other places, they went in and what do you call it? Like, it was bad. And the Sayyid, I don't know if you're familiar with the Sayyid, he was a warrior poet, a genuine warrior poet who got rid of the Italians and the British and the French who were all colonizing Somalia. He got rid of all of them. And he was brutal too. If you weren't with him, you were against him. He was wicked. But he what do you call it? My At 7 years old, my wife's grandfather came to the Sayyid when he was 7 years old and said, "Hey, I want to join your army." It's like, "I'm not here to take kids." He's like, "Yeah, but I killed but I'm a soldier. I know what I'm doing." At 7 years old, he said, "I know what I'm doing. Like, I killed the Italian guy who killed my father." He's like, "You look around my army, you'll find a whole bunch of people who did that. Get out of here, kid." He says, "Yeah." Did they do it with that soldier's own weapon? My wife's grandfather and uncle grandfather, so like the two brothers, they snuck into the tent of the guy who killed their father. They stole his rifle, a bolt action, and the grandfather, shot the soldier in his sleep in the bed, and they both booked and they got the hell out of there. So they came and they joined the Sayyid's army like that. Like that alone, plus the idea that he was really good. He knew Somalis. He could talk to Somalis. People listened to him and all sorts of things. What was the Sayyid's name? Good question. Sayyid Somalia. Remember the guy's name? Muhammad Abdullah Hassan. So yeah, very famous dude. Anyway, he what do you call it? So like, like the fact that I didn't know, and she had to teach me this stuff, the fact that I didn't just know her grandfather's name, like that was a big deal to them. So anyway, yeah, like racism exists everywhere though. Anybody can be that whole thing like, oh, black people can't be racist. I was all over my wife like I was like, you're wrong. Anybody can be racist. If you think that you're superior to another person just based on your genes, I promise you that's called racism. I don't care if there's an institution behind you or not. Institutional racism still exists, but institutional racism is only one kind of racism. And again, it's only white people who I've ever seen willing to fully break ties with family members because that family member is racist. So I'm saying that's a big deal. Like, that's a solid deal right there. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I think that America is dealing with it more. Canada still has a lot of problems that they're not facing. Again, when I say, here's all these people in America that, they're black leaders from since whenever, since forever. Who do you have in Canada that is, equatable to that? I don't know. I don't care if it's a white teacher I ask. I don't care if it's a black teacher I ask. Not a single person has ever been able to give me a solid answer. And that's telling. That's very telling. That alone makes me recognize that America is dealing with their racist problem, which it is a racist problem, but at least they're dealing with it. And Canada still hasn't. You know who the most famous person in Canada is? And any Canadian here will tell you. It's Terry Fox. Some white guy who he got cancer in one of his legs. I forget which one. I think it was his right leg. Anyway, and he decided to do a marathon from out here in Ontario back to his home in, I think he was from Vancouver or whatever. Anyway, he was going to run the whole way. He didn't make it. He died on the way. It's a really messed up thing, but like, bruh. Bruh. Anyway, let's see what we got here. I just saw a super chat. Oh, of course, it had to have been freaking Sudan. Sudan is now Sudan. Don't call her that, please. Anyway, plus, which would it be? Northern Sudan or Southern Sudan? But we enjoy your live streams. Of course, we will try to have you stay, like and subscribe, students. She-Hulk, smash that like button. Also, say the good word out loud, Professor. I will. And I'm going to give you Let's see. I don't actually know which one you like more, but I already used Emma Frost, so I'm going to give you Selene, the Black Queen, who will just absorb the life of all her foes if they do not bow to her, and maybe even if they will. Love you, Suan. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. This is why we follow you, Bill, a true centrist. Not even a centrist. A centrist is more of a liberal. I'm more of just a guy who sees through the debauchery and the lies of people, and I actually look at the actions of the individuals. I'd consider myself more of a progressive than anything else, but I don't want to tie myself down with anything. P. Keel, change of pace. What do you think about specking on DMZ with a Rosario Dawson possible lead actress by, I don't know what that means. It's not specking. Where are you going with that? I disagree. I think majority of people understand and agree that Indigenous went through a Holocaust. They might disagree with how we should make up for the horror. No, yeah, we've got to remember to pull ourselves out of our bubbles, though, because there are still a lot of people who don't believe that. They don't believe that natives went through anything. There are a lot of people who just figure, you know what, we won. It was a war and we won. You know, saying like I've heard that argument also, and it's a messed up thing. You're not wrong. It's just there are other voices that are correct also. Yeah, it's a weird situation here. Again, who the hell was the jeez, what the hell was the name of this freaking guy? Conservative leader, Canada. Crap. Yeah, I should say Andrew Scheer. There we go. Look up Andrew Scheer. There's this one comment that he was making because what was it? Vancouver? I think it was Vancouver. The indigenous people of Vancouver were tired of people coming onto their land. Vancouver's a big city, right? And there's a bunch of people coming onto, coming in and out of Vancouver with their cars and their trucks and their trains and bringing all this material back and forth. And they were just like, listen, we're going to go out there and we're going to lay down the tracks and lay down on the roads, and we're not going to let them pass anymore because you know what? We're not getting anything out of this deal, and we want this stuff. And Andrew Scheer, who was not actually in charge of anything, he was just in charge of the Conservative Party up here in Canada, like federally. Excuse me. Even though he didn't win any public office, he was still in charge of he's replaced now as of middle of last year, anyway, late last year. But Andrew Scheer, he said he's on video saying this. You can still find this video, I'm certain of it. I think that a lot of these natives, a lot of these indigenous peoples who aren't working and have time to go and stop the work of Canadians trying to do their jobs should really just check their privilege and realize that people are just trying to work and keep Canada going. And he says, check your privilege about indigenous peoples. You can see that sick smile on his face where he knows that he's being an asshole. He knows that he's, what's that called when you're throwing up flags for people to see? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, like this is the kind of stuff that, like, this is the leader of an entire party, the Conservative Party. This is the kind of thing that he says. Like, you're telling natives, you're telling indigenous peoples who've been screwed and screwed and screwed, and who half the country believes actually went through a full slew Holocaust, a genocide of sorts. And you're going to sit there and say that they need to check their privilege? Wow. Mind you, Vancouver does not technically belong to the government of Canada. Technically, Vancouver still to this day, like, it's not considered a full-flown province. It's still considered a territory. It still technically belongs there. It's an unceded territory. Unceded. SEDD. That would be ceded. SEAD. Anyway, ceded, like, when you cede doctrine, or you cede in combat, or you succeed from the Union, something like that. It's unceded. It was not surrendered. No document, no treaty was signed. Canada does not technically own Vancouver, but it's used as though it was ceded. So that's that's a tricky one. That's a real tricky one. But that's the kind of people that we have around here. Comic Vet, what's up, Comic Vet? I'm from Newfoundland. You're a Newfie. Oh, everybody loves the Newfie, the Newfie thing. My sister is racist, but I had influence on her kids, so one of her sons married an Asian girl. Take that. Excellent, dude. Raven is a genuinely good person. Isn't William Shatner Canada's most famous bro? William Shatner. There's Brian Adams. There's Michael J. Fox. There's a lot of people who we think are Americans, but they're actually Canadians. Because unfortunately, it is a thing where a lot of Canadians will feel that we can't. Oh, Ryan Reynolds also. Hello, Deadpool. We can't. There's a lot of people in Canada who think being popular in Canada is cool, but if you can't make it in America, it's like you'd never made it at all. And it's a weird thing, but it's a thing. So I've said Wayne Gretzky. It's a weird kind of thing. Oh yeah, guys, please don't attack each other. Please, that's not what we're here for. That's definitely not what we're here for. People can have differences of opinions and still be respectful of each other. You know what I'm saying? So, Breck, what's up, Breck? How you doing, man? Breck's got his channel going. He's trying to get his channel going where he's talking with his wife about X-Men and the like. What do you call it? Not a centrist, progressive conservative. So I guess that makes you intelligent by default. Well, thank you, PA. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, I like to consider myself just, outside of. I don't like the idea of groupthink. If there are people who think like me, cool. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. Just side note, Terry Fox started his Marathon of Hope, thank you, in St. John's, Newfoundland. Okay, it was in Newfoundland, thank you. Heading towards BC. He only made it to Ontario before his cancer returned with a vengeance. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know he died someplace here in Ontario. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's a good kid. He's a solid kid. There's actually a movie about him. I think it's on the Crave Network or on the whatever. It's on one of those channels. My kids actually sat down and watched it because here in school, like Terry, you know what their opinion is right now? The two greatest people, and they can't decide who's the greatest. My 5 and 7-year-old kids think, I don't know who's greater, Terry Fox or Michael Jackson. Look, I love me some Michael Jackson, and Terry Fox seemed like a really good kid. But at the end of the day, it's like, I remember my wife saying, it's like, I don't have any attachment to this Terry Fox kid, but the way that they were teaching us about Terry Fox in high school, they're teaching them now, like all throughout. We got to know about Terry Fox, apparently. I'm glad I didn't go to school here. Like she was crying in ninth or 10th grade about this Terry Fox kid who she didn't know anything about, but the way he was so emotionally, taught to people, it's like, oh my God, he died. And he was so strong. He was running. It's like, I'm not here to try and degrade anyone, but like, it's a kid who was running a race who was missing a leg and he had cancer. There's lots of people like that in the world, not just in America, in the world. You know what I'm saying? We like, come on. Nobody who, who's famous in Canada for speaking and marching on black rights, no black leaders, no indigenous leaders who we can name and say, listen to this person. It is like no greats who talk about politics and who aren't themselves actually politicians. We don't have a Noam Chomsky, right? We don't have anybody who can, even if you don't like Noam Chomsky, at least you've got a Noam Chomsky in the States. Who do we have here who's a dissenting opinion against the government? Jesus, like police just went and beat a kid and he, not too long ago, not too far from me, and the kid wound up committing suicide because of the way that he was treated. And it's like, are you kidding me? A white kid, I think he was white. Anyway, I saw from the video, it looked like he was white. Whatever it was, like committed suicide because of the way he was beaten. Nobody talks about it. There's nobody talking about it. Like everything's just so tame here. And it's like there are no fighters. There are no fighters whatsoever, and it's heartbreaking. It's like Terry Fox is like as important as the beaver here. The beaver being the national animal. Anyway, if people say, "Well, we won the war," so they committed the horrors. No, exactly. There's still all those horrors. Trigger warning. P.S. It's not my opinion. Did you see the COVID awareness ad in the back of the Batman comics? No, I didn't. It implied Wonder Woman used her lasso of truth on Trump. What? No. Let me see this right now. Let me pull this mother fat head out. Whoa, where's my where'd I put my DC comics? Huh. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's the Batman and there's the Wonder Woman. Guys, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. At least get these two. Brand new character whose debut is right here. There's her first appearance. She's also going to have a TV series made about her. You think Kamala Khan is too soon? I'm not saying it's bad at all. I'm good. If this is a good comic book, if there's a good TV show, bro, go with it, And then John Ridley doing Batman, also a first appearance. I'm just saying. So, bang. Okay, let's check out this freaking thing over here, Wonder Woman 1984. What is this here? What do we got there? I don't see it. Back of the book. I'm seeing the book. I didn't see I don't see this ad. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Where's this thing? I see nothing. I feel like maybe I was lied to. I'm feeling targeted here. Oh, man. No, I'm not seeing much of anything here. Back of the book. Let me check the front of the book. No, there's nothing like that in here that I can see. In fact, there are like no ads in this at all. The next Batman. I don't see anything, bro. Sorry. Anyway, I looked. I don't know if you were trolling me. You got me. I don't think you were trolling me, Evan. But anyway, Okay, I'm gonna go down a lot more because wow. Okay, up here. As a Mexican American, I would say my family. I wouldn't say my family's owed anything for the Mexican reparation. Don't think my grandfather was back around then. Maybe great grandmother is what it is. It's funny. Like when you think about the Alamo and whatnot, we celebrate. Remember the Alamo? What was the Alamo? When you think about it, what was it actually? It was 101 people, I think it was, right? 3 particularly famous ones. Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, and somebody else. I can't remember who the other person was, but 3 particularly famous people. Sam Adams couldn't actually come down because he was in charge of the army, right? And it wasn't Texas wasn't a part of American land. It was a part of Mexican land. But the Americans went down there and said, "We're going to claim this as ours." And the Mexicans in Santa Ana were like, no, thank you. No, I'm not reading it, but I bought it anyway because it's first appearance, and I might wind up, finding out I said Jim Bowie. Yeah, didn't I? Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, and somebody else. Anyway, bang. So they said, "We're going to stay here." And Santa Ana's army came over and they killed everybody there and said, "Okay, yeah, this isn't yours. It's ours. You don't want to leave. We're going to kill you." And then Sam Adams said, "Oh, how dare you?" So we're going to come down there and so yeah. Like it's weird the things that we celebrate. No fighters because Canada has a stereotype of being too polite. Yeah, polite's one way of looking at it. So what does your wife say about or a boot? Oh no, she doesn't have an accent like that. Very few people, like maybe out in Alberta area or in the Yukon, they might say a boot. Now everybody says about here. No one says a boot. Exactly. That's something that's going to get under the skin of some Canadians, man. Like nobody says a boot. Knock it off. Real Rudex, if there's no ad, what a shame. Why would you make that up, bro? No, well, it might be in one of the other books. It's not a big deal. It's not in the Wonder Woman. It's in the Batman. Oh, the Batman one is the one that I looked at. I didn't see it in the Batman. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. The Alamo was Texas independence. Yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it. But it belonged to them. It didn't belong to us. Also, I disagree. I have family in Manitoba, and they say it. Yeah, okay, there you go. The creator of the Bowie knife as well. Yeah, yeah, Daniel Boone, David Crockett, and Daniel Bowie. Yeah, Daniel. Oh yeah, Daniel Boone. I did actually know it. Yeah, Jim Bowie. Why? How come I said Daniel Boone and I thought that was Jim Bowie? Wow, that was dumb. Yes, Jim Bowie. So those three: Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, and Jim Bowie. So anyway, yeah, the creator of the Bowie knife, who was really good at throwing his Bowie knife. Sam Adams was from Boston. Hey. Sam Houston. Yes, it was Sam Houston because Houston, Texas, and jeez. Anyway, I might not remember all the names, but damn it, I remember the events. But in Ontario, we don't say it. It's in Batman 98. Oh, I didn't see it in Batman 98. Sounds like a weird Valley girl. I never say a boot. I'm spamming way too much. You're spamming. Oh, that's a beating. That's a beating, Evan. Anyway, all right, guys. So I've gotten to the end. I may have cheated to get to the end, and I do apologize, but I have gotten to the end, and I need to wrap this stuff up. I gotta do my final prep for the podcast, and I gotta put away all these toys, and then yes, also I gotta do those 2 comic book reviews. So that's which 2? I do here. So I'm ready to make the review for Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 22 and MODOK issue number 2, Mind Games. So Head Games, excuse me. So I'm ready to do those 2. I still have to read Juggernaut, and I will. I still got to read Return of the Valkyries. I might do that one, and I might actually get to The Wrong Earth Night and Day, which is Ahoy Comics. Those are the last ones that I have to do. So I'm going to try and put those up tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to them tonight. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, all the love in the world. See you later, Bill. Always a pleasure. You too, man. Fine, since we get a podcast, I suppose we'll behave and let the professor go. I appreciate that. Are you and Chillmogger still doing stuff together? No, we don't. Chill's doing his thing. I'm doing mine. And all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Love, peace, and hair grease. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Be good to each other and to yourselves. What the hell was that guy's name? Jerry Springer. See, I'm horrible with names. Talk to you guys later. Class